From the secret technology hidden inside footballs to the reason these guys will have a job forever.
I have never seen this.
I haven't either.
Never seen this.
Well, G's looking at it from above.
There are so many things that you thought you knew about the NFL, like how much money halftime performers actually make, to how the US military almost killed thousands of fans during one of these pre-game shows. Here are 7 NFL mysteries revealed. And starting with the main reason you clicked on this video, trying to keep pace with other sports leagues around the world who had already integrated technology into their game for a more interactive viewing experience, the NFL found a way to seamlessly do the same. But no one really knew about it until this play during a Ravens-Bengals game in 2023. Now, of course, it was absolutely obvious that Lamar Jackson was short on this touchdown attempt. But to give a little more insight, the NFL tweeted out this statement.
They said the ball never got close to the end zone. And I went,
why don't we know that?
wait a minute.
Hold on. What?
You now know, you can tell whether the ball crosses the plane or not? Look at this. According to the chip in the football, the closest the ball got to the end zone was 0.6 yards from the goal line.
What does that say? According to the chip in the football. There's a chip in the football?
Yes.
Wait, what? There's a computer chip hidden inside the football? Now, any real sports fan will have mixed feelings about this one. You just don't mess with the hardware used to play the game. Who is to say that it can't be hacked, like other tech devices? Well, relax, it's not as Matrix-like as your mind might make it seem when you think about it. The truth is, this technology is pretty pointless because it really only tracks ball movement and velocity, and even when it came to that, there were still some bugs that needed to be fixed, so no worries. But I know there are some wise guys out there thinking, well hey, since there's a chip in there, why don't they use it to spot the ball? And the truth is, because the ball is a symmetrical object, the chip is most likely placed in the center for balance and accuracy. That accuracy, however, has a range of about 15 centimeters, a huge deal in a game that determines winners and losers by mere inches. It also doesn't account for a player's knee going down, so using it to spot the ball for proper field position can become an issue. An issue that leads us to these guys, and why, despite all of the technological advances in the game, compared to their seemingly outdated and old-fashioned purpose, we all want to know why the NFL still uses chains and the chain gang to measure first downs. You know those guys on the sidelines who hold the 2 bright markers connected by a 10-yard chain that run onto the field whenever there is a close enough call on whether the offense reached the line to gain? Yeah, those guys. They've been around for decades, and no matter what kind of tech advancements come along, they always win out. But why though? The NFL is one of the most technologically advanced leagues in the world, so why are they sticking to this antiquated model when there are more advanced alternatives available? Okay, so I'm not gonna go into detail about how the chain gang works, except to say that at the end of the 4 downs granted to an offensive team, they must have advanced the ball at least 10 yards. If there's an instance where the ball moves 9 yards and some change from the previous first down mark and it is too close to call, these guys run onto the field and take a measurement for the offense to see just how far they need to go before deciding if they want to go for it or punt the ball over to the next side. Now, the best replacement for the chain gang would obviously be lasers, and while technology is great, it isn't always as effective as you might think. Lasers are expensive and would require personnel at every stadium. They would have to be calibrated and adjusted by their personnel for different weather conditions, interference, and lighting conditions. And although the USFL, a minor football league, is experimenting with lasers for down accuracy, what people often forget is that the NFL is first and foremost a business with a brand based on entertainment. And you gotta admit, these guys are pretty scintillating at times. Even if you absolutely could, you probably would not want to replace them and watch a game without their antics. They create tension whenever there is a close call that makes for good TV as players, coaches, and even us the fans await anxiously during a game-changing moment in a big game.
What he already knew, but it just so happened when he pulled the index card out, Skip, it backed him into a corner because there was air between the ball.
Look at Gene. He can barely contain himself.
And there's no bigger game than the Super Bowl. Which, by the way, as a bonus, did you know that the word Super Bowl is copyrighted? Yeah, in 2008, Pastor John D. Newland of the Fall Creek Baptist Church in Indianapolis received a cease and desist letter from the league telling him that the church was in violation of league rules by charging $3 a person to watch the game and munch on snacks. The NFL ain't playing about that money, buddy. The Super Bowl is watched all over the world by more than 100 million live viewers. So naturally, if you want to advertise during the game, you better have some deep pockets. How deep? Like $7 million deep. That's how much it costs for just a 30-second commercial. Wealthy corporation or not, that's gonna affect your bottom line somehow, buddy. And with all that kind of money being tossed around, you might be thinking, I bet those halftime show performers take home a huge chunk of those earnings. Yeah, but you'd be wrong again. Remember, I said the NFL doesn't play about their money, buddy. They're keeping it. Wait, what? So how much are the performers paid again? Well, here's the catch. They're not. Performing at the Super Bowl can be likened to an unpaid internship as opposed to a lucrative concert stop in a big city. But while artists aren't paid directly by the NFL, they do receive their earnings from exposure. In 2022, the show had 5 performers: Mary J. Blige, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar, and Eminem. They all saw a huge surge in music sales after their performance was watched live by an estimated 103.4 million people. Snoop Dogg and Blige, who both released albums days before the Super Bowl, saw the highest gains, with streams of their music jumping to 143% and 132% respectively from pre-game levels, according to Billboard. So what does the NFL do with all that ad money? With respect to artists, it actually helps to offset the cost of putting on the show, which had an estimated total cost of up to $20 million for just 15 minutes, according to Forbes in 2021. Another exciting aspect of NFL games occurs before kickoff, during the national anthem and the pre-game formalities. Every team has a pre-game show or ritual. The Denver Broncos send down their skydivers, and the Seattle Seahawks show off their winged friend, but most teams utilize heavy artillery. Now, what I always wanted to know is, how do aircraft traveling at high speeds, sometimes from long distances, manage to hit their marks with military precision right as the national anthem ends? Well, the answer might lie partially in that one word: military. Since sports events involve detailed pre-game scripting, teams provide pilots with a specific time that they want the flyover to occur: 12:58 p.m., 5:58 p.m., and etc. In addition to that specific time are calculations for takeoff, distance, and airspeed, a pre-specified holding area where aircraft can circle or hover to kill time if necessary, and a forward air controller inside the stadium for last-minute guidance. With everyone coordinated like magic, you've got aircraft screaming overhead while fans are still standing with their hands over their hearts, hitting the final note. Now, there have been some close calls in the past, like this pre-game show that saw this helicopter come within feet of a wire at the stadium. But the biggest mystery of all might be how the NFL seems to create a schedule that produces the most heart-pounding matchups season after season without disappointment. How do they organize venues, dates, bye weeks, and events that fit together perfectly like puzzle pieces? For example, why is my Buffalo team always thirsty for water and gasping for air early in the season in the dry heat of the South? And why does my sunny South Florida team always end up in New England later on when it's cold as balls outside and the ground is frozen? So here goes. 32 teams play 17 games totaling 272 contests per regular season. Decades ago, a team of gridiron gods handpicked each team and placed them on a board with a specific formula. But today, they use a much simpler approach. Using 3,000 AWS cloud-based computers, human prompts, and algorithms, they tell the computer what they don't want and it produces a result. Some games are now played overseas in international territories like London, Germany, and Mexico. NFL matchmakers enter information like which games are eligible for the 1 o'clock, 4:25, 8 o'clock, and 8:15 time slots, stadium availability, travel considerations, but most importantly, competitive fairness is at the top of the list. The rules and penalties inserted into the computer are: no team should play a 3-game road trip. No team should play a road game following a Monday night football game. No team should play 2 road games to start a season, and no team should play 2 road games to finish a season. On the television side, there should be an equal number of games cross-flexed between CBS and Fox. A strong Sunday night football schedule, a strong Monday night football schedule, and a strong Thursday night football schedule. And at the end of it all, the scheduling team can choose which result is best for the league. But for more in-depth and exciting videos like this, you need to click the video on your screen right now or browse the channel. Don't be cheap. Give me a free subscribe and a like if you love the video.